Hooray!
Welcome to Fiery Discourse, your podcast and media featuring dragonesses, female dinosaurs, and other similar saurians and scalies. I'm your host, Ludmillanon, and with me are my co-hosts, Angron, Mathmachine, Lucky Eevee, Jordan, and Shark. Today is our 72nd episode, and we're discussing the 2005 Krypto the Superdog episode, Dinosaur Time. So, let's get things started.
Up,
Now,
and away!
Yep, that's the best way to start things. So, Krypto the Superdog is a show based on the character of the same name, who was the pet of Superman, and he basically came to existence during the Silver Age when basically comic book creators got completely nuts and threw everything against the wall to sell comics.
This was basically the 60s. This was basically the 60s, where people were high in Vietnam, British, two of the three, or all three. So, you know exactly what you're getting. Yeah, this was also the era where Hanna-Barbera came to be. So, you can imagine how that...
And that directly ties into this cartoon because the art style is very reminiscent of classic Hanna-Barbera cartoons, including some of the wacky animal shows of the 50s, as well as, I think, a little bit of inspiration from Super Friends and some of the human designs.
Yeah, I can see that. It also, and oddly enough, this series is congruent to the freaking Burn It verse. So basically, this is basically a Burn It verse show by the fact that Alan Burnett and Paul Dini worked on it.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, Krypto's part of the Burn It verse. Mad thumbs up, and good lord, this completely validates my entire freaking childhood. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. The interesting part of this is the first episode was actually written by Paul Dini, and Superman makes an appearance in the first episode, and he is the exact same Superman as the one from Superman the Animated Series, and by proxy, Justice League, and all of the other various spin-offs. Basically, the reason why Krypto is not with Superman is because Superman decides to let Kevin, a young boy who discovers him, to be allowed to keep Krypto, which is probably what Superman probably did so he could spend more time with Lois, which, let's be fair, he wouldn't want a dog cramping his skull on the floor.
Superman's too busy trying to save Metropolis. He probably doesn't really have time for a pet.
True, that is also true.
To be fair, his pet is able to save Metropolis as well, so...
yeah, his pet is a superhero.
Yeah, his pet's a superhero.
Heroes are spread out so they can cover more ground.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Like, yeah. I think of Superman... I just can't get over the fact that in the entirety of the Superman lineup, there exists a Lois Lane out there who is a Keyblade wielder.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, this entire show, but yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It really is.
A lot of
one
fun.
Fun thing that they did with it is you think that because of a show like this, they would just invent a bunch of made-up characters, and they did a couple of them, but for the most part, almost all of the animals come from the actual DC comics, including Joker's hyenas, Catwoman's pet cat Isis. Most of the dog Star Patrol actually was from the DC comics, so I give them major props for doing their research.
Yeah, interesting fact, actually. Before this version of Mammoth Mutt, who is a female pink chihuahua who can inflate herself, there was there was another version of Mammoth Mutt who was male, possibly a bloodhound, could inflate himself, and literally in the first part of the comic, he literally freaking gets popped and dies.
Wow.
They dropped the ball hard. Yeah, I cannot blame them for giving us the version they gave us in this show.
This version
is a plus one for the show. And he has no grace.
But she's expanding all over the place.
Yeah, she is way superior than that, but unfortunately she does not appear in this episode, much to our chagrin. But this episode is a really fun one regardless, and we'll talk about it right now. So it begins with a cute little spoof of Jurassic Park as a pair of paleontologists see a T-Rex loom over them. And a really funny twist, the dinosaur just gets bored with it after nudging against the car for a couple seconds and just trudges away.
Oh, interesting part about that movie scene.
Yeah.
The dinosaur actively comes up to the thing and bumps it with her nose, and it's almost similar in stature to birds, which I'll give the show props for scientific accuracy nowadays, because dinosaurs are basically birds, so dinosaur be bird is accurate.
It very well could be.
Also,
a little thing I like to point out is that during the title card where you have a narrator saying the name of the episode. That's a common thing. But something that happens then is that the narrator actually names the director and the writer. He outright says their names, which is
that's
really unique.
Actually.
Maybe that was for like younger kids watching this or that who couldn't read, so they know who did the episode. Because that is interesting.
Charming, giving credit where credit is due as well, especially in that manner. So,
it's not just any narrator; it's Sam Vincent, Krypto himself,
who also voices Krypto.
Oh yeah.
But another funny instance here, I don't know if it's an intentional reference. The male paleontologist looks a little bit like Fred Flintstone, which, if that was a reference, that's a cute one, you know?
Again, Hanna-Barbera designs.
Yeah.
Yep, Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of Dr. Grant, except blonde and sort of Steve Irwin looking.
It definitely was supposed to be like a spoof of Jurassic Park, and it turns out to be an in-universe movie watched by Ignatius, who is Lex Luthor's pet lizard. And one thing that's really crazy, again, they really did their homework with this, because Lex actually did have a pet lizard in the comics. I don't know how deep they had to go in like the DC encyclopedia to find this character existed, but I'm glad they did because he is hilarious. He's basically kind of like a Paul Lynde character or like Roger from American Dad in that he just wants to ruin things for everyone else.
Oh God! Now you're making me imagine a collab between him and Ignatius, where like freaking Roger's taking him to Vegas or some shit, and like they're just going.
Would that not be better?
Like the flying saucer and shit. Just, oh God!
Yeah. It would
something I did not want to see, and yet I see it, and I love it.
I'm sorry, Shark, what were you saying?
It also makes me think of Gaspar from Brandy and Mr. Whiskers a bit.
Very much so. And those shows were on the air at the same time. So it's kind of a weird coincidence that you had two shows with antagonistic iguanas like that. But sometimes it works like that.
Yeah.
Ignatius basically laments how the dinosaurs were acted stupid and that if he were there, he would be king. Which leads to a really cute little fantasy sequence of Ignatius literally being a king as he oversees a group of dinosaurs worshiping him from a castle.
Expectation versus reality.
Yep.
Never goes quite as well as you think.
Exactly. But Ignatius' little fantasy sequence is broken by him noticing the arrival of Kevin and Krypto to LexCorp. It turns out that Kevin is writing an article about LexCorp for his school newspaper, and his school is called, I kid you not, Superman Elementary School.
Oh God, what's next? Superman Peanut Butter? Wait.
Well, this is just another reason why Lex Luthor wants to destroy Superman, because he wants it to be called Lex Luthor Elementary School.
I mean, I can't blame him, but I mean, Superman already has a freaking peanut butter named after him, so I don't. So, an elementary school is definitely a step up.
Basically, the scientist there is happy to help, but she mentions that Lex Luthor likes to help out the press, including the Daily Planet. Haha.
Interesting thing about this, about the scientist, actually, she is voiced by the same person who does Mrs. Pteranodon from Dinosaur Train. So
we'll be talking about that very soon.
Oh yeah. So basically, before that, we got this. Here's hoping Krypto Superdog and Dinosaur Train cross over at some point.
That would be amazing if only they showed up in this episode, but sadly that did not happen. But the scientist asks why Krypto is there, as Kevin lies that Krypto is interested in science. And they want to tour LexCorp. Now, sadly, although they're touring LexCorp, we do not see them opening up a broom closet and Nuclear Man from Superman 4 is in there. You have my voice.
Oh God, man! Superman 4. Man! Imagine if Krypto actually did go up against Nuclear Man. That would be an interesting fight.
I mean, they could have brought him in the show. He's silly enough, you know.
Or at least Nuclear Krypto or Evil Company.
That's could have had that. They actually could have had a Nuclear Krypto, and they could have had him with Krypto's voice, like how Nuclear Man had Lex Luthor's voice. Oh God.
One thing about this show, for as much as we're talking about how silly and goofy it is. And it absolutely is.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that it works is the guy that plays Krypto plays it 100% straight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the best part of
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Him
yeah.
and Ace the Bat Hound, they are completely 100%. Even like the Dog Star Patrol and all of like the superhero characters, they are doing this 100% seriously, and it is really, really a lot of fun because of that.
Yeah, they're serious characters in a not so serious world. Let's be fair here.
I believe Ace the Bat Hound might have been voiced by Dietrich Bader. They might have gotten him to voice that, so that right there was perfect casting.
I don't think they did, but honestly, if they did, that would be awesome because he did 2 Batman roles, surprisingly.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah,
it definitely fits.
Yeah, Rex Kwon Do has definitely upgraded to Bat Kwon Do.
Nice. Yeah.
Man.
So,
Oh,
what
and
happened?
with Scott McNeil, the same guy that does Ignatius.
Oh, nice. That is awesome. Great casting right there.
Actually.
Nice. And getting back to Ignatius, he basically is spying on them as he follows them into a room. The scientist reveals LexCorp's time machine as Kevin brings up the very justifiable fear that it can change the past and affect the future in that way. Now, they could have shown this in a much more fun way. They could have gone back in time, stepped on a butterfly, come back to the future, and now instead of Metropolis, they live in Otisburg.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Now it just reminded me of Sound of Thunder. Oh, God.
Yeah.
How many
Can we
deep
mention just
dark
how
holes
easy
can
it is to
we
get
this
to the...
episode?
You first.
I was saying, how many deep Superman polls can we get in this episode?
Quite a few. I
Yeah.
really, I am a fan of Superman, so I'm gonna pull probably a little bit more. But yeah,
It's also It's also funny here that basically like they bring attention to that, but then I'm just like, well, thank goodness multiverse theory exists, possibly.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's also kind of funny how easy it is to get to the very top secrets of the place, because it's like it literally is. I'm here for a report. Oh, cool! Here's our time machine.
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
but again,
man,
it ties into the goofiness. Like this really does feel like something from a 1970s Super Friends episode, like the Wonder Twins era of it. And again, that's I think part of the reason why it works so well, because it's taking something that would have been played serious, and it still does it. But I feel like it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, which, works out really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's a little tongue-in-cheek. Like, even in the opening, it's a little tongue-in-cheek. But it's a tongue-in-cheek that is not cringe enough to be bad, but it is cringe enough to definitely be hilarious.
Definitely.
And a
One
little
nice little
obvious.
touch here. The time machine looks pretty much identical to the one from the 1960 George Pal movie, which, fantastic movie, by the way. Definitely check it out if you haven't.
Oh, man. And that just basically reminded me of that one scene from freaking Big Bang Theory where Sheldon seemingly successfully uses the time machine, only be attacked by 2 people in Morlock suits. And he's like, Morlocks! Flesh-eating Morlocks!
Wow.
In 2 freaking dream sequences, no less.
Yeah.
First one's
And the
that,
Morlocks
second is him.
did look that goofy in the 60s version. The 2002 version is it's an underrated movie. I think it's a fun. But getting back to Krypto's time machine, I like how when the scientist remarks that they're very careful with their devices, basically Ignatius just lifts the capsule up as a siren goes off, and everyone in LexCorp just starts freaking out immediately.
Yeah.
And of course,
Oh god, it reminds me of the frickin' Smiling Friends where their thing frickin' goes off and everyone's like.
Exactly, it does. Yeah. So basically, there's a good gag where the scientist says, "I'll stay here while you figure out what's going on," followed by Kevin's confused reaction before she fixes it and runs off.
Gosh.
One really cute touch is how Krypto goes from his like normal, ordinary dog disguise into his super dog form, which literally is just him with like a red S dog collar, like Superman's famous red S. He chases his tail and he becomes like his Krypto form, which again, that's a really cute way to do it,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, you got competition.
Yeah. Krypto is, but as we previously said, Krypto is voiced by Sam Vincent, best known for playing, of all people, Double D on Ed, Edd n Eddy, who is also one of the Flim Flam brothers, and basically a lot of voice acting. I mean, because this is all the Ocean Group. These guys have been in hundreds, if not thousands, of cartoons and cartoon dubs.
I would
and
not
pretty
be
much
surprised if
anything
he
you
was
can
in
think
Powerpuff
of.
Girls Z.
That's impressive.
Probably was. So,
As soon as I saw that it
bas-
was Sam Vincent, Double D, all I could think for this episode, since this was a dinosaur episode, was I love ancient chickens, Double D.
Double D.
oh man, if only Ed was
what is
here.
that? Yeah.
They go
Yeah.
have used the Ed's own time machine from the episode where I remember previous scams.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and the one where they tried making their own giant dinosaur foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's so...
Discipline.
oh, classic. But Krypto and Kevin then go to see what's going on in the time machine before they spot Ignatius in the cockpit. The three of them end up traveling back in time in a puff of smoke, which, again, another nice touch to the original Time Machine movie, which that's how it traveled through time. Ignatius basically walks off to rule his new land as Krypto stops him just by stepping on his tail, which is funny. It turns out that the time machine is out of fuel and they have no way of getting back. Krypto says that he'll look for another energy source while Kevin looks after Ignatius, which is immediately runs
for lemons.
Yeah.
Well, if only they had lemons. Yeah. Should have listened to Bill Nye. Or one other way Krypto could have done it. I mean, if Superman can do it, why can't Krypto? Just fly around the Earth hundreds of thousands of times, and eventually you'll get back to modern day.
Yeah, make sure you have freaking Kevin and Ignatius on your back, though, because
True.
Yeah,
I mean,
one way to
Superman turned back time by flying around the world thousands of times. I mean, sure, Krypto could too.
It's so funny to me that not only do we have 2 episodes in a row where we're talking about the main characters going back into dinosaur times, both episodes feature, and we ran out of fuel.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And 2 weeks in a row, too. That is very, very weird. Sometimes I guess it just works out like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, my gosh. But anyway, it's time for Ignatius to possibly fuck up the time stream or get his own butt kicked.
Yep, he's on the back of a Stegosaurus, and he basically tells the dinosaur he's there to lead them to a better tomorrow. And one thing that legitimately cracked me up, I actually had to pause it for a second. While Ignatius is doing his little speech, it cuts to like the Stegosaurus who does this great look in the camera, like, "Can you believe this shit?" level look.
Yeah,
it's
God.
Just such a perfect annoyed expression. Like, what the hell is this? Even is this?
Oh man, now I'm imagining that same Stegosaurus with holding up the sign of exactly what you said. Can you believe this shit? Gosh,
if only.
Oh man, no, you just reminded me of Wile E. Coyote doing this.
That would be really awesome too. But basically, the Stegosaurus uses its Stagomizer to toss Ignatius into a tree. Meanwhile, Kevin is riding around on Krypto's back before he's stolen by Pterodon. I like how Krypto startles the Pterodon, who drops Kevin before how he saves him. How he uses like his super breath to blow it away, and I swear I've heard that sound effect they use for the Pterodon before somewhere.
Yeah,
it's I've heard a stock sound effect, but
probably like from Cyber Chase. I remember it from Cyber Chase. Yeah.
Maybe it was probably a Hanna-Barbera effects, to be honest, because they used a lot of stock library sounds from the Hanna-Barbera shows in this.
Also, a thing I forgot to note, they went back 1,000,000 years, which they pulled the same mistake that Back to the Future did.
They did 100 million years.
Oh, they did. So wow, they got it right, and Back to the Future got it wrong. So that means 1 point Krypto the Superdog. Minus 1 point Back to the Future. Wow.
Me Back to the Future years.
Yep. So Krypto is smarter than Doc Brown.
The Campy show got it right, and the Edutainment property didn't.
Yeah. Wow. That is true.
I know. Oh gosh. Oh man. That shut me up. Mostly.
Yeah. So basically what happens is Kevin realized that he has an idea on how to fix the fuel issue while Ignatius is lamenting on the fact that none of the dinosaurs listen to him. He then sees a group of eggs and prepares to eat one, which, okay, a little bit of a tangent here. Iguanas are mostly herbivores, which is kind of weird until you realize, oh right, it's Lex Luthor's pet. Of course he'd make his pet lizard a carnivore. That's something that Lex would do.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. I mean, wait, like aren't freaking some iguanas technically omnivorous?
I guess, but I don't think they eat like whole eggs or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, it
At
is a
most
cartoon.
it's bugs, but
Yeah, but then again, it is a cartoon. And while Ignatius is preparing to eat one, he then sees its very, very angry mother, which turns out to be a T-Rex. I
yep.
do like how the design is stylized, and it very much looks like how Hanna-Barbera would have done in the 60s. Like, I could see this kind of dinosaur design, like, maybe you give it more of a scratchier appearance, rather than it's like a clean digital stuff. You could drop this thing in the Flintstones, and it would not be out of place.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I do like that it has eyelashes, another fun little detail. And right now, the dinosaurs roar realistically, and the reason we bring that up will be apparent in a couple moments. But for now, the mother T-Rex chases Ignatius to a cliff while Krypto and Kevin spot him. And I like how the T-Rex does that cute little huh as Krypto pulls on her tail and drags her back. The trio fly off as Ignatius sticks his tongue in at the dinosaur. Now, in a really fun, cute little twist that actually kind of took me by surprise, that the T-Rex speaks with a dignified accent as she mentions that the nerve of that little lizard trying to steal her eggs. And they have upscale like British accents of that. And a nearby Brontosaurus remarks that he thinks he's smarter than us as they play like dignified music in the background. And it actually got a good laugh out of me because I really was not expecting that.
Yeah. Imagine freaking him pulling that shit in the Dinosaur Train universe. Oh God.
Oh boy.
Another reason for why
is that they do play it straight that these are just regular dinosaurs. There's no indication of this up until they make that joke.
Yeah, it's very clever.
Perfectly,
I really like that.
Weird, quirky, cheesy Silver Age style show.
Oh hell yeah!
Like,
exactly.
Maybe they were ignoring Ignatius on purpose.
Yeah, could have been just to get him away from them,
Yeah, just minding their own business, and then he's over and hey, I'm gonna flex on you, and they're all like, "Oh God, this guy."
Sorry, Math, you were saying?
I mean, it's Ignatius. Wouldn't you ignore him?
Yes.
This is the same guy who in the previous short made a freaking helium muffins to try and lose weight, only to not only endanger kids, but have his entire freaking batter raise LexCorp off the freaking ground, which, oh gosh, Scott, reminded me of something Stryker said. He's like, yeah, Lex Luthor's like, I'm going to rule the world, but I can also stop and make my lizard do a diet.
Exactly. It's so, again, that is something that is just so in character. Lex Luthor being like, destroy Superman. Oh, and put my lizard on diet. Destroy Superman. Classic. Yeah. But it turns out that Kevin's plan to start the time machine is to have Krypto use his super breath to start the wind turbines. He does so, and they set the time machine back to modern times, and they have just enough fuel to return back to their own time period. It turns out that Krypto's super breath is a little too powerful as the time machine breaks down and is completely destroyed. Ignatius basically tries to run away, but Krypto easily stops him. We then cut to them standing outside of the room with the time machine as the scientists with several LexCorp guards enter. Ignatius is stuck inside the machine as the scientist knows that Lex's time machine is ruined as the LexCorp guards take Ignatius away. And I love that the scientist has a line saying that, oh, Mr. Luthor is really not going to be happy about this. And it's like, yeah, he isn't. He's probably going to end up, killing Ignatius and then just cloning him to have him again or something. I mean, he's Lex Luthor,
Yep.
I mean, the greatest criminal mind of our time, and he can't even manage his own pet.
Yep, a little bit of a tangent here is that the Lex Luthor design is a little bit of a stylized one with the Hanna-Barbera stuff, but he is also the same exact Lex Luthor from Superman the Animated Series, which brings a lot of questions into play here.
Oh, I mean, all that freaking kryptonite cancer they got in Justice League basically might have just made him that way.
Very well could have.
Yeah, he also kind of reminds me of that stylized angular stuff that they did for Genie. I forget the artist's name, but they did that for Genie and also in Fantasia 2000, which, yeah, I want to remember his name, but I can't. God.
I'll have to look it up. Maybe
it was the guy who Yeah, it was the guy who animated the Rhapsody in Blue.
Hirschfeld. It's based
Yeah,
on his
Hirschfeld.
art style.
Yeah. Yeah, very much Hirschfeld. Lex Luthor in this looks very much like kind of like a Hirschfeld sort of character.
And it does work with that. So
Yes.
the episode itself ends with the scientist asking Krypto if he wants to see more, but Kevin remarks that he's had enough excitement for a couple million years as Krypto winks into the camera and it fades out.
Yep.
Now, Krypto the Superdog is a really fun show, and I feel like it's a very good introduction to the DC universe for younger viewers, while still having a lot of things for adults to enjoy as well. Because let's face it, you had Paul Dini working on this, and that guy, he knows his stuff, you know? And I really feel like they knew they had to make it child-friendly, but they could also make it true to the DC universe. I mean, you weren't going to find anything as dark as like Batman the Animated Series here, but it still feels like part of that world. Maybe a little bit of a sillier vibe to it, but it still feels cohesive with it. And if you want a way to do this kind of show badly, a preschool DC show, look at none other than Bat Wheels, which is literally let's do cars, but with the Batmobile and Robin's motorcycle and Batgirl's motorcycle
and the Joker mobile and whatever the fuck other Gotham villains had for their
cars.
thing.
Even ones that didn't have cars now. So
oh god,
it really is like, you know, cars is popular, so let's do cars, but also make it Batman.
We have cars at home. Cars at home.
Yes.
Did they make
exactly.
Wonder Woman an invisible jet?
I do not know. I'll have to look that up. That
would be very interesting. If not,
whatever is Wonder Woman's counterpart should be invisible there, because if not, that's a wasted character.
Missed opportunity right there. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that Warner Brothers has just sat on the IP for a long time and they haven't done anything with it. I think it's actually coming to TV again soon, which is pretty good news after a while of an absence. And of course, we can't talk about Krypto without talking about the other thing Krypto did, which is the DC League of Superhero Pets movie, which I was kind of underwhelmed by in a way. I felt like it could have been fun. I mean, granted, it was never going to be this show because I don't think they were interested in making this show into a movie, even though that could have worked. Yeah. But I don't know, there was something about it that just felt generic. It felt like a Secret Life of Pets movie, basically. Just with like, again, like how Bat Wheels is, hey, let's do cars with our characters. DC Super League of Pets is like, hey, let's do Secret Life of Pets with our characters. And Dwayne Johnson as Krypto is just, I don't know, you know, I feel like that guy.
I like the designs for the most part, but I'm probably not going to seek out this movie. They also did Tiny Titans and the whole pets thing, but that is divisive. It's not bad, but I don't know if I'd call it a masterpiece or even as good as freaking Krypto the Superdog.
No,
it was okay at best, but it absolutely felt like yet another vehicle for The Rock and Kevin Hart to hang out.
That too. And again, it's just so overused. And I actually feel like if I was to show a kid one thing of like a DC media to get them hooked, and you're not going to show them Batman 89 because, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like if you're going to do that, I feel like I would rather show them Krypto over DC League of Super Pets because I don't know, I just feel like it was better written. I cannot believe I'm saying that the cartoon show from 2005 was better written than this multi-million-dollar movie, but there you go.
Yeah, that's how it works sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes the past is better than the future. Crying better than your
Sorry, Shark, you were saying?
Yeah, Krypto also shows up in some episodes of DC Superhero Girls.
Yeah, I don't know if he's supposed to be this version or not. Probably not. But still, it's nice that he shows up in that. And he is going to apparently be in the new Superman movie that James Gunn is working on, which will be very interesting. I'm guessing they're going to do it like a realistic CGI animal like Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy and Rocket and that. And I don't know, it could be interesting. You know, I want to see what they do with it.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah,
there's potential.
Yeah, because especially with like James Gunn and that, I really feel like with Superman in general, I mean, I'm sorry, Snyder, I don't know. You know, I don't want to get into that whole debate because that's a thing for another day, but I don't know. To me, Superman didn't feel like Superman. It didn't have like the whole, it felt too grimdark, you know? I just felt like that was the big problem with the Snyderverse in general. It was just like, relentlessly cynical on that. I'm not saying like the MCU is good either, because look at how messed that is now. But I don't know. I feel like I really hope that James Gunn does a real better job with these characters, and especially again to see Krypto again and again for the first time on the big screen in live action would be interesting. But yeah, that's my overall verdict. Is Krypto the Superdog 2005 is a really really underrated show, and I definitely recommend people check it out if they're even if they're just interested in like DC Comics in general. I mean, it's not like great. I'm not saying it's like Batman the Animated Series level of amazing or anything, but it is a fun enough time.
Yeah, it's very much unique. It's very much worth the watch. This was part of my childhood alongside shows like Dragon Tales, Between the Lines, and a bunch of different other shows. But yeah, if there was ever a show to basically do DC right, it was this one. Not too right, but right enough that it feels unique and like a timeless classic, in my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion is watch this show first to get you the idea of what superheroes and superhero cartoons are, then go to Batman the Animated Series.
Exactly. So now it is time for our question of the week, which is going to be a little bit of an interesting one because it's favorite DC cartoons, but I'm going to actually put a little bit of a twist to this one because I don't want everybody saying, "Oh, Batman the Animated Series," because let's be real, we all know that would be our answer. So the question of the
it
week
wouldn't
is
be mine actually, but yeah, I do like the I do like the added challenge.
Evilly on top.
Yeah, but the question is going to be, what is your favorite DC cartoon that is not Batman the Animated Series? Just to see what kind of responses we get from it. I'll go first, and I actually have a couple of really interesting ones. I could say, for example, Superman the Animated Series, which kind of cheating, but whatever. I could say the Static Shock, which is a really really good show.
Hell yeah!
But
Hell yeah!
I know I probably gushed about this before, but I'm sorry, I still think it is the best version of Superman in any media, and that is, of course, my answer. I don't want to be Mr. Hipster here, but I'm going to say my answer is the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons, or rather the Fleischer Superman's cartoons, because Dave Fleischer was the one who directed it. But these are absolutely incredible. Even if you don't like superheroes and you don't like Superman, you owe it to yourself to watch these cartoons. These are some of the most amazing, vibrant, well-animated character motion and character study animation that has ever existed and ever will exist. I mean, this stuff influenced Ghibli and that, with the mechanical monsters. And it really, really is amazing stuff right here. I mean, these cost as much as Disney's feature-length movies, and these are like 20-minute short films. And sadly, they were not commercial successes, and DC Comics put the squeeze on them, which is why they did Famous Studios took over in the latter half of the 40s. And those are still good, but the ones that the actual Fleischers did are really, really just mind-blowing. I mean, the characters, basically everything about it is what Superman is. Now, there is an interesting twist to this, too, because these shorts are so old that, the Kents didn't exist yet. It actually said that Superman was brought to an orphanage and he grew up as an orphan. And that Lex Luthor did not exist because Superman basically fought a bunch of various gangsters and other sort of criminals. Like in the Mechanical Monsters, the main villain of that is just some scientist who built these robots. Yeah, he also fought a giant dinosaur. Yeah, the Arctic giant. And later half of the 40s, he fought the Nazis and the Japanese because wartime and that. But what's interesting, though, about these shorts is they are just so beautiful. These things are like 90 years old, 80 years old, forgive me, but they still look absolutely amazing. Now, because they are public domain, you can find a bunch of copies of them all throughout the internet. And some of them are lesser quality than others, but if you can find the restored prints, which are not too hard, they are beautiful. I mean, this is a work of art. And if we lived in a just world, the Fleischers wouldn't have been able to make this into a movie. And, maybe like animation history, throughout the world would have been completely different with animated cinema. But unfortunately, as I said, these shorts were successful, but they weren't a huge, huge hit like what Paramount wanted. Because what Paramount wanted out of the Fleischers was crazy because they were crazy. And I won't get into that now. We'll do that if we do like something with Max Fleischer, which maybe one day. But to basically give the long and short of it is that the Fleischers got screwed by a famous studio, and but their actual Superman shorts are. I'm gonna be honest. It really is my favorite adaptation of Superman ever, and they are coming out with a Warner Brothers is coming out with a Batman animated movie that looks like it is the Batman equivalent to the Superman Fleischer cartoons.
Yeah,
And if
for that.
and my thing I will say about that, if the movie ends with, basically Batman, getting a knock at the Batcave and that, and it's Fleischer's Superman, that would be the best thing ever. Because, just to see, because Fleischer's Superman existed in a totally different time period. I don't even think Batman really existed when the first short came out. And it really, really are some fantastic stuff right there. But if you haven't seen it, I recommend the first one, Superman, aka the Mad Scientist. I recommend the Arctic Giant. Mechanical Monsters is the best one. That one you definitely should see because those are some badass robot designs right there, and the way they move. And I probably gushed about this way too much, but it's just something that I really, really, really enjoy. And because they're public domain, thanks Paramount for not caring about your IP, you can find them anywhere on the internet. Like right now, you can go on YouTube, type in Superman Fleischer, and you can find them all in some decent quality, some not decent quality, but there's some pretty good ones out there. But that's going to be my pick, and I probably did the hipster pick. But yeah, my one is going to be a Superman, the Max Fleischer, or rather the Fleischer era cartoons from the 1940s, because like I reiterated, they are some amazing, amazing stuff. So, Angron, what is your choice going to be?
Oh boy. So I kind of instilled myself a tiny bit of a bonus challenge. I couldn't pick Krypto the Superdog either. So
nice.
But yeah, it's sort of an optional challenge. But if I did keep with that challenge, I would honestly have to say Batman the Brave and the Bold. No diss to Teen Titans, but that one stuck with me a lot more than fricking Teen Titans did. I like what they did with that Teen Titans show until Teen Titans Go come around. But I will say, I'm kind of a sucker for the Hanna-Barbera style. It hasn't aged all that well, I'll admit, but I still like it. It's charming. It's whimsical. I mean, seriously, if it's good enough for me to like Krypto the Superdog, then Hanna-Barbera knew exactly what they were doing. And however, since I didn't put in the challenge, come on, it's Krypto Superdog. It was my childhood.
Nice.
It's basically what Math said. You start with this, then you do Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And I'm for that. I'm for this series. Like the Hanna-Barbera style paired with the fact that it's serious characters in a not so serious world. Like, good lordy, this is honestly the best of the Hanna-Barbera style, I feel. Like, you got stuff like freaking let me think here. You got stuff like Powerpuff Girls, you got Powerpuff Girls Z, a bunch of different things. But I feel this right here is the pinnacle of Cartoon Network. I know I said freaking KND is the pinnacle of Cartoon Network. And I still stand by that, but Krypto to me honestly feels like a close second in terms of like just overall being Warner Bros. I feel, But, so yeah, that's gonna be my pick, Krypto the Superdog, and for the bonus try hard, for the bonus try hard challenge, I'm gonna say Batman Brave and the Bold.
Nice. And we previously talked about that in another episode.
Oh hell
which
yeah!
was a lot of fun too. But yeah, like you said, Krypto really is a fun show, and I definitely see your reasoning behind it because, again, with childhood memories, and imagine for a lot of people listening to this, of the younger persuasion, it definitely was their introduction to these characters, if not the concept of superheroes in general. And like I said, you can tell they had a lot of fun making these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh man.
Great stuff. So those are all really, really good choices. So, Math, what would you have to say would be your favorite DC superhero cartoon?
Oh boy.
So, Lud, you were at one point saying, I could cheat with the Superman animated series. I found the actual cheat.
Oh.
Batman Beyond.
yes,
I knew
yes.
someone was going to mention it.
Nope.
I knew it.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, that is a good choice right there.
The show
Yeah.
was just so good in every way that it should not have been good. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
let's have Batman in high school. And they found a way to make it fucking work.
Yeah, let's
They-
have
they made it
Batman in the
so good.
future, in the 90s. That shouldn't work, and yet it fucking does.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, like, this is probably not a hot take, but I feel like the Flash, like Keaton's Batman, they should have just done Batman Beyond with him, rather than have like 70-year-old Michael Keaton put on
They
the actual
really
cowl
should.
again and have like a bunch of terrible CGI with it. You know, they should have just
Yeah.
literally made him like Batman Beyond, because that would fit so much with Keaton's Batman as well to be like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm mad that and frickin' Acme versus Coyote got canned.
Yeah, what a shame.
Hard.
What an absolute shame. But getting back to Batman Beyond, Math, anything else you want to say about it, or?
Yeah, I just want to take this time
Go ahead.
to just talk about how great a voice actor Will Friedle is.
Oh, hell
I've talked
yeah.
about this
Mate,
series
legend.
before, and I just you can never talk about how good Will Friedle is, because the man is always underrated.
Yeah, like,
He just did such an amazing job with this. This actually was his first voice acting role,
oh,
and he
yeah.
knocked it out of the park day one.
Yeah, he would later go on to
nice.
do frickin' Ron Stoppable, Lion-O, and frickin' that one person from Vox Machina that I really want to remember, but I can't. I'm sorry, Will. But
okay.
good lordy, this guy absolutely is a top frickin' guy.
Yes,
And it all started with frickin' Terry McGinnis. Mad
Yep.
props.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a great choice right there. Because again, I remember reading they actually were given from like Warner Brothers, do Batman in high school, go. And rather than just give us like, oh, here's Batman in high school, oh, ain't it wacky? They actually took the time to take the loosest interpretation of that concept and really made it work, because the fact they actually gave his own rogue gallery is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they did a really, really good job with that.
A lot of them
So-
aren't as good as the animated series villains, because
Yep.
very classic villains rogue. But there's a few of them that are still like pretty damn good and highly hold up.
Yeah,
Something.
absolutely.
Do you have any
Definitely.
idea how little that narrows it down? Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something, ink inflation, yeah, something.
Yeah.
Barely this guy's fetish, something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
look at Inca, yeah. But no, that is a great choice right there, because yeah, that is a classic show. So Shark, what would be your choice for your favorite DC cartoon?
Okay, well, I'm going to go with a dirty casual answer, and it's gonna be Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, that
Casuals
is another
unite.
legend.
I half
Yeah,
expected you to say DC superhero girls.
I mean, it has Ember, but Teen Titans is Teen Titans, so
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
fair.
a way. That again was a show that really, I feel like Teen Titans Go might have actually clouded it somewhat, because if you go back and watch it, it's a great show. I mean, it didn't.
Yeah,
Not every
I
episode was good. It had a
absolutely
lot of stumbles, and maybe the last season wasn't as good as the others. But I think for the most part, it really is a show that holds up. And I feel like the anime art style, it wasn't anything like, say, We Baby Bears. Just like,
Yeah.
the anime is popular, so let's do the anime.
Like,
This
seriously, they
feels
did
like-
a freaking TV movie where the Titans literally go to Tokyo. The literal
Yeah,
birthplace of
yep.
anime.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like you say, like what I really like about the show is that it balances comedy but serious moments pretty well, actually.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the characters are charming, they are funny, but they know when's the time
when
to
to tone
actually
it down. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the episode with like anything with Raven and like season 3, and that is
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. Oh,
Or
man.
the
Like,
big one
literally.
that people always pull is the episode with Robin in when he was suffering from the hallucinogenic gas.
Oh,
from
yeah, that
sleep.
one too.
Yeah.
yeah,
When
Oh,
he's suffering
man.
from
Oh,
PTSD.
freaking Ron Perlman as Slade in that. Good lord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Same guy who
stuff.
did the principal from same guy who did the teacher from freaking Danny Phantom, by the way. Also Hellboy.
Yep.
Wow.
And a lot of good movies too.
Yeah.
He's done pretty much every single movie. And but no, Teen Titans is a great choice right there. And again, it's one that's like a lot of people know, but it's like in a way they don't know, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, like people remember it, but I feel like they only remember certain portions of it, not like the entire show or the layout of it or anything like that.
I remember Beast Boy becoming a freaking whale and smushing this weird gaming wrestler guy.
Yeah, it's
Also,
it's
Robin
weird.
going up against a bunch of animals like a bear, a snake, and I think a monkey.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the episode where he becomes a monkey and the other Titans, like Raven, becomes
Yeah.
a monkey.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also in that very
the
same,
tiger.
yeah, and in that very same Kung Fu episode, the other Titans become freaking Robin.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
like
are
that.
going.
I can't
Classic,
believe you
classic.
guys are going to Robin's trough and dressing as Robin without telling me.
Classic.
No, I know. Good lordy, that was.
Classic.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, my answer is
yeah.
that.
I can definitely see why. Great answer right there. So, Jordan, what would your favorite DC superhero cartoon be?
To be honest, I mean, it was the original, the animated Batman, but I'm not gonna pick that. I did like Batman Beyond. The series was good, but the movie I loved the most. You have all the great characters, and you bring back the OG Joker in all this.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also have to go for the OG Titans. I mean, the kid Titans are cute, but it just makes it look like, okay, this is definitely meant for babies to watch, but also has the same adult humor a little bit tweaked. So I gotta go with Batman Beyond. I mean, it has a lot of great things. We had so many crossovers with Static Shock. We see Batman Beyond in that too. I'm like, this is like almost centered to almost every superhero of every DC
Oh
almost.
hell yeah! Absolutely.
Nice.
So I'm gonna pick Batman Beyond just because of that. Is just like a center of like almost every Batman thing.
Mhm.
Great choice right
Justice
there.
League in that too. So that's pretty much for me. That.
Yeah, no, that's a great choice right there. And Eevee, what would you have to say is your favorite DC animated show?
I've never really watched enough of any particular one to get an opinion on it.
Even Batman the Brave and the Bold, the one with Plastic Man.
I get recommended clips occasionally on YouTube, but I don't like watch full episodes.
All right. So okay, so we'll just leave you with that then. Okay. So now it is time for the patent pending Dragoness Scale, where we rank the Dragoness, or rather in this case, Dinosaur. Now, this is going to be interesting because this character is really such a small portion of the episode. I think she might have like a minute and 30 seconds of screen time in an 11-minute episode, which pretty small ratio, but we've done smaller Dragoness appearances on this podcast, so it works out.
Like,
but
I think she beats even Queen Wicked from Bunnicula.
Oh yeah, she does in a way. But for this dragon in particular, rather Dinosaur, the Mother T-Rex rather, I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna give her a score of. See, it's a hard one because I like the design. I mean, it's done up like the classic Hanna-Barbera sort of style, which is always a nice touch that they actually did a throwback
Yeah, nice
like that.
build up too, for the most part.
Yeah, they did. And the little twist in it with, it turning out that the dinosaurs can talk are all elegant and regal. That really got a good laugh out of me. Yeah. And that was something that, if she was just a generic dinosaur that roared and didn't do anything, her score probably would hover around like 5 out of 10. But that payoff, that one gag with that absolute perfect payoff to it, because you never see it coming, and it just tackles you so good with it. I'm probably going to have to give her a 7 out of 10 after really thinking about it. If she was in a little more of the episode, I'd go a little higher, but I like the design. And again, like, it's just that one payoff that really, really does it. And her voice has a little bit of a June Foray quality to it. It's definitely not her, but I wonder if that's what she was
Yeah.
trying to go for with it, which would be very interesting.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Alan Kennedy, the voice of the scientist as well. So
Really?
my
Nice.
Hey, Mrs. P
She
also
was
voiced the T Rex. So
Huh.
not only is she
Yeah.
a mom to a T Rex, she also voiced the T Rex. So
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
Yep. Yep. So, you were saying, Math?
yeah, I think that it was intentional that she was because that's not her normal speaking voice. That wasn't that sounded like an intentional British regal accent. So I'm assuming June Parade.
Kind of like how she did like what Gundamar and the Dragoness from Gummy Bears, which again, nice touch there. But yeah, I'm giving her a 7 out of 10. I can't really give her a higher score. I mean, because she's really not in the episode that much. I mean, if she was like maybe 30 seconds more screen time, I'd probably end up giving her an 8 out of 10. But for now, I think 7 is a pretty good place to stop because again, that one twist with her talking with the British accent, that is so funny and such a fun little detail that's why I'm giving it that. So, Angron, what would you rank her?
oh man, I am absolutely gonna go off the frickin' rails and give her a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I like you said, I wish she had more time on screen, but given like my bias for the show aside, this T-Rex does more with less. It's like Hydra, except a little scaled down a bit, but that honestly works in her favor. Like everything she does is very justified. Chases after Ignatius, justified. Tries to eat him, justified. It gives that after getting her tail pulled by freaking Krypto, justified. Saying that freaking thing, just everything about her's justified. Like, oh man,
Nice.
I agree. We could definitely do more. We could have definitely done more with her, but good lordy, I absolutely. Excuse me. I absolutely love this character in the time we got, and the fact that she beats freaking Queen Wicked in terms of time appeared, I'm absolutely gonna give her that 9 out of 10. She deserved it.
That's a great. That's
Yeah,
really
her
good reasoning right there.
Yeah, her design. Also, her design absolutely slaps. It's well rounded. It's toony, but it's also sleek, slender. It's, good lordy, it's so much to love about it.
Yeah, great choice right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
rating rather, because yeah, I definitely can see why you'd give it that because it really does work out. You know, again, the design too is just so charming. So, Math, what would you give her?
So I actually did time this because I was curious myself. From the very first second this dinosaur appears on screen to the very last second is only a minute 26. That's not counting all the time that she's on screen. I'm saying from her first appearance to her last appearance. So if it, yeah, she's in more if you're only counting the dragon form of Queen Wicked, but if you actually count the entire time Queen Wicked herself is in the episode, this is actually our shortest appearance for anything that we've rated so far.
I
Well,
did not know
again,
that.
she does more. She does more with less, though. Yeah.
So because she was in it so little, and because she was just doing the dinosaur roar, I was like, oh, okay, so this is just going to be giant monster yet again. I'm ready to give this a 4. Okay, let's go on. And then the sudden twist with that joke and the British accent. I remember watching the show when it was new on TV, and it's been so long since I've seen this that I actually forgot all of the episodes. But as soon as I saw that, I burst out laughing, and I actually remembered that. And I remembered I had that exact same reaction as a kid. That
Nice.
instantly jumped this from a 4 to an 8. I've
Nice.
never
Wow.
seen such an instant thing that actually made me like a character so much as that one joke. And I think that it could only work in a series like this.
Yeah, I
Definitely,
can definitely
definitely.
see that.
Yeah, that really does work out. So, Shark, what would you have to give the mother T-Rex from Krypto?
Thinking about a lot of things of her, like the design, like it was pointed out, like it's a Hanna-Barbera inspired And yeah, like you guys say, the twist, like you think, oh, it's gonna be generic dinosaur with eyelashes, just so you know that she's a woman, but they throw you that twist, and it takes you by surprise, and it really gives her a lot of character too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
The only thing that I could see like hindering a high score is the screen time. Like,
Yeah.
even though Queen Wicked is a dragon for 20 seconds, she in her human form is the star of her episode, and you get to learn a lot about her.
Yep.
So
True.
at the
Yeah.
very
That's
least,
true.
yeah, taking it into account all of that stuff, the small amount of time, but the twist of the joke, the voice, I think I already mentioned the design. Yes.
Yeah.
That little she does when Krypto grabs her, that is cute and all. I think I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10 with her.
Nice.
Not bad at all. Nice.
Mhm.
Yep, that definitely works out for it. So, Jordan, what would you give the Mother T-Rex from this episode?
I don't remember watching that episode, but after hearing how we don't get a full shot with her or a long time, but I do like the British part.
Yeah.
I would
I like the
stay on
papa.
to the train that we got going on so far. 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Getting a lot higher score than I'd expected. Wow.
Oh yeah.
For that, because again, I didn't watch that episode. I watched a lot of ones that I like the most from Krypto, like the cute little baby ones. That was like my favorite
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Baby Mammoth Mutt was awesome.
They had a lot of fun ones, yeah.
And surprisingly has a lot of gifts on tenor. Don't
Sure.
know if I'm
Okay.
Like Krypto, I remember watching as a kid when I was watching Krypto. Mostly the baby ones, because again, they're so flipping cute, and I'm like, my one tiny mammoth.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. But yeah. That
Oh,
definitely
man.
that's a really good ranking right there. That makes a lot of sense. So Eevee, what would you have to give the Mother T-Rex from
5
this
out of 10
episode?
looks too generic.
Okay, all right.
I can see that.
Kind of see. It's
I was
based
just
on
like,
the whole
okay,
premise of
fine.
Hanna-Barbera, so I think it's supposed to be a little bit generic, which, in my opinion, makes the twist a little better. But
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
can kind of see it though.
Like you're expecting a freaking T-Rex, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh, really now? Does he have the
Exactly.
nerve, or does he have the nerve?
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is going to be it from this episode. If you have any questions, or if you want to join us in lamenting the fact that Mammoth Mutt was not in this episode at all, you can email us
Yeah.
at firydiscourse@outlook.com. Visit us on Twitter at twitter.com/firydiscourse, and subscribe to the YouTube playlist at youtube.com/Ludmillanon. Next week, we'll be discussing the 1998 Pokemon episode, Mystery at the Lighthouse. This is one of the
Okay.
very early episodes from the Indigo League, and it's going to be really interesting to kind of compare and contrast the early Pokemon to the later ones. And there's also a very unique episode, which we'll definitely get into why next week. But for
Yep.
now, had a lot of fun talking about Krypto, and until
Oh, yeah.
next week, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
out.
Adios. Thank you all for watching, and see y'all next week.
Yep.